Welcome to Turnpike Sports. I'm Dave Weischadle, and as always, I'm joined by my producer and co-host, Doug Weischadle. Doug, another bloodbath for the bettors last week.
Yeah, it's kind of a tough NFL season.
Wow.
But you know what? I've been noticing every week the bettors win something, then the next week the sportsbook get it right back, and it's just one of those things. This is a tough season to handicap.
You know, I was, if you watch Twitter and follow some of the professional handicappers, and it was just an absolute crazy scene on Twitter. Before Monday night's game, I was looking at Twitter, some of the people who do the predictions, and they were telling me, almost 90% of the money is on the Rams and this and that and the other thing. So they were really high on the Rams, and wow, what a Monday night game.
Well, again, they don't know as much as they don't know more than anybody else.
And
now.
I know a lot of people were on Tampa Bay last week, and that was a complete disaster.
Do you know how many times this NFL season I've seen these handicappers put up a tweet that says, "I hate this NFL slate"?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
It's becoming more and more consistent that I'm seeing a lot of handicappers get very frustrated this season.
Look, I did terrible too. But I'm not a professional handicapper, but I did terrible too. I don't think I got a game for the show anyway. I didn't get a game right.
It just goes to show you take everybody's picks with a grain of salt and do your own research.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we got a great show coming up. We got a Beat in the House segment. We have our Week 11 NFL picks. Oh my God, I have to do this again. But our picks will be coming up, and then we'll also have a book report. But after this, I'm talking with Brooks Pierce, who's president and COO of Inspired Entertainment, which is, if you play virtual sports, you've probably played an Inspired Entertainment game, because they are just a phenomenal company. They're putting out phenomenal products, and we're going to hear all about them when we talk to the president, Brooks Pierce. Today's trip down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
Exit 1.
We're going to start off today's rundown by talking about a little bit about the New York sports betting.
Well, it looks like mobile sports betting is kicking into high gear, huh?
It's moving along. I don't know when they're planning on launching. The last I saw was they were talking about still Super Bowl as the actual launch of the industry.
Well, at least they gave the names out of the approved operators in the state for mobile sports betting,
right,
which is great.
And they actually have two groups, really.
Okay.
9 operators, but 2 groups. And this happened last week. We didn't have a chance to talk about it last week, so we're talking about it now. Again, when this airs, maybe there'll be some more changes, maybe some additions to this list. Hopefully, with what's going on in New York.
It's pretty comprehensive, though.
No, it's actually these are the 2
sports books. They're the biggies.
Well, these look like the 2 super bids that were chosen here. One group: DraftKings, BetMGM, Bally's, and FanDuel. And then the other group was Caesars, Wynn, PointsBet, Rush Street, and Genting, Resorts World. Those are the 9 operators. Now, you did the same thing I did. I always thought it was Genting, but then I talked to people from Genting, and it's actually Genting. Genting. Yes, I corrected myself, but
they pronounce it Genting, so they work there. So I'm going to pronounce it Genting.
I still want to say Genting because it's just habit, but it's wrong. It's Genting. So the second group, the one we were just talking about when you were making fun of me for Genting, that's the one led by Canby as the platform operator. They are partnered with the Oneida and the St. Regis Mohawk compacts, the Indian tribes. The other group is more interesting to me because not only do you have DraftKings, BetMGM, Bally's, which is going to be Bally Bet, and FanDuel, they're partnered also with the Seneca Nation, the Buffalo Bills, the Buffalo Sabres, Major League Soccer, New York, NYC FC, the Yankees, and the Yes Network.
Yep.
So that one is like the super bid that was put together there. It'll be kind of interesting to see exactly how these things fit into place because all these operators, according to the regulations that New York handed down, all these operators have to partner with a land-based casino. Mm-hmm. And each land-based casino is going to get $5 million annually from these operators. So the casinos are going to make out like bandits, too, with this stuff.
I can tell you who's not going to make out, and that's the state of New Jersey. All these people that usually come over to the state of New Jersey to place their bets will have to now can stay home.
Well, no, see,
it's just terrible.
That's the one thing I've been thinking about, because with New York getting these operators up and running at some point, they still have a 51% tax rate for 10 years. And that's just like New Hampshire. It's 51% up there, too. Mm-hmm. New Jersey's got the 13% tax rate. I wonder if you're going to start seeing, and this is just off the top of my head.
That has nothing to do with Joe Schmo who wants to place a bet who's in Manhattan.
It could.
He doesn't have
it
to
could,
really?
Because think about this. What if...
Will the numbers be a little different?
You have DraftKings, FanDuel, and Rush Street. They're in New Jersey as well as Connecticut. I'm wondering if you're going to start seeing junkets being organized by some of these online operators to get bettors into the lower tax rate so they rake in more money.
Well, I don't know. It's the one thing about mobile sports betting is the absolute convenience of it. I don't think if you're in Midtown Manhattan, will the lines be that different in New Jersey and New York, which will prompt a New York person in Manhattan to say, you know what, let me jump on the train and make 2 stops. I'll be in Fort Lee or Secaucus or the Meadowlands in like 10 minutes and then place a bet there.
There may not be any.
Who knows?
There may not be any difference in what you're talking about, the market points, but New York, you're going to see a lot less promos.
Maybe.
Because they have to make up that extra percentage going to the tax rate. That's what I'm saying. I think
it should be interesting to see how this shakes out.
It also depends, I think, on the individual bettor. If you're a bettor that likes the promos, the free bets when you first register, I don't think that's going to change your attitude about going to New Jersey or Connecticut or Pennsylvania. I think you're going to see exactly how creative some of these sports books are going to be to actually keep the New York customers in New York.
I would be very curious, because the thing about Manhattan is that a large number of people who work in Manhattan live in New Jersey or they live in Connecticut.
Yes.
So you're going to get that. I mean, what great shopping they will have. They will have, should I wait till I get home and get some of the better lines in New Jersey, or should I pull the trigger now and bet in my office in New York and get those lines? So I'm very curious to see
or even just go on the bridge.
How these markets compete with one another. And, and Connecticut's in the mix too. So it should be interesting how the It should be a great time for sports betting, though.
Especially in the tri-state
area.
Yeah.
Man, what a great time.
And if we're talking tri-state, are you talking Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, or New Jersey, New York, and Connecticut?
Well, if you live in
quad
North
state, I guess.
if you live in North Jersey, tri-state is New Jersey, New York, Connecticut. If you live in South Jersey, the tri-state is actually Pennsylvania, Delaware, New Jersey. Yeah. So,
And given the fact that we now have New York licenses being handed out, of course, somebody had to jump on this, and BetMGM did the deal with MSG. They're partners with MSG Networks as well as the MSG Company, the New York Knicks, the New York Rangers, and I really think it's all about promotion, seeing all the brand everywhere. I don't think I've seen one that included a Zamboni.
Yeah, it should be interesting.
The BetMGM. I've never heard of a deal for a sportsbook so far. Maybe there is one. I don't know, but I haven't heard about it where you put the brand on a Zamboni.
I gotta tell you,
on the ice, which is kind of unique.
Since doing this show, when I watch a hockey game or a basketball game or even a football game, baseball game, you name it, I always look about the signage of the stadium. It's just so interesting to see how many sports books and how much betting and casinos there are in advertising. It's just amazing.
Exit 2.
We're going to stay in the tri-state area.
Which tri-state area?
They both include New Jersey. They both include New Jersey.
They both include New Jersey. All right.
So we're going to stay in New Jersey.
All right.
With remember back in 2019, Assemblyman Caputo introduced an eSports bill into the Assembly?
Yes, I do, because I interviewed him.
Yes. That's why I said it that way.
That's why I remember him.
That was back in late 2019, and it's been slowly making its way through the legislature of New Jersey all the way through until last week, where Governor Phil Murphy finally signed the bill into law. It was part of 100 bills he had to sign on the last day of the session, but he signed it, and New Jersey now has an expanded eSports portfolio starting to happen now, which is great to see.
Which means what? We can start betting on it now?
Well, no. First things first, this allows operators to post lines on eSports competitions as long as the majority of the players are 18 years or older. That's the big key.
Good.
18. It doesn't have to be all of them being 18 years old. I wonder what the majority. I mean, are they talking 2/3 majority, 4/5?
I don't. Yeah, I know a lot of bettors have uneasy feelings about betting on activities with kids. I want to call them kids under 18. You know, it feels weird. You know.
It does, but again,
I wouldn't want to do that. I mean, if you're 18 above, you know, I'll bet on you.
Hey, if a 17-year-old is being paid like an 18, 19, 20-year-old that's on the same team.
These are,
that's what I'm saying.
These eSport players are getting paid well.
I honestly don't have a problem betting on that, because if they're being paid like the other kids or guys, however you want to phrase it, other team members, I don't have a problem betting on it, because they're doing it just like everybody else. I mean, they're being treated the same way by the team. Why shouldn't you treat them the same way when you place a bet on them? But anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves here. We have to see exactly where this goes, because it just got signed into law. And one of the other things about this, it involved competitive eating contests.
I always make money in the Nathan's 4th of July hot dog eating contest, mainly because, you know, you bet on Joey Chestnut and the over. That's pretty much my betting strategy for competitive eating. And I only do competitive eating if it's that Nathan's thing, because at the time there's nothing else on and I want to bet on something. So I bet on Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
Well, prior to this bill, you had to go to the New Jersey Division of Gaming Enforcement, and also the other states that were doing the competitive eating, you had to do the same thing. Right in Jersey, right now. In New Jersey, you had to go to the Division of Gaming Enforcement.
So every time you had an event like this, you had to apply. Okay.
Permission to go ahead and offer lines on these games or these competitive events.
Okay.
Competitive eating contests, Academy Awards.
Never bet on the Academy Awards.
There are other award shows out there that people were able to bet on in different states.
Really? No. Never did that.
Here's what is happening now. You do this. The bill that was just signed into law that hit eSports, but also has these. It removed the requirement of having to get special permission from the DGE to offer the lines.
Okay.
If a sportsbook now wants to offer lines on the hot dog eating contest, they can go ahead and do that without going to the DGE.
Okay. All right.
Which is why a lot of the sportsbooks didn't want to do that, because, number one, it could take forever and you may not get permission in time. And number two, it's going to cost you money to have your lawyers draft up the requests and everything else. And, you know, it's a matter of cost. It's a cost-effective measure not to have this special review.
Anything you do in gambling and casinos and sports betting, you need permission. And when you need permission, you have to go through a lawyer usually. So, and that costs you money.
And New Jersey was not done with this, because I meant dumb, not done, just so you understand what I'm saying. They put limits.
What do you mean limits?
The max amount of a bet could only be $100.
Okay.
And the max you can win is $500.
All right.
So they took a look
So you're
ahead.
not going to get rich betting on a eating contest or the Academy Awards,
You
right?
can't put $100,000 on Joey Chestnut.
All right.
Is what Jersey just said to you.
All right.
That's all.
Exit 3.
Remember the USFL?
Yes, I still have a lot of gear from the USFL. I have my Jersey Generals T-shirts, and I have a sweatshirt for the Jersey Generals. So, yeah, no, I remember the USFL.
I remember the two big teams in the area. It was the Jersey Generals, which you just mentioned.
And the Philadelphia Stars.
Which Herschel Walker on the Jersey Generals. I don't think the Stars had any big names on them.
No, they had Kelvin Bryant. Very good runner.
Who was the quarterback? Chuck Forcina or something?
Yeah, I think so. Chuck Forcina. Yeah. I remember one time Jersey Generals had Brian Sipe
Yes. Yeah, I
The
think
old
that was
Browns quarterback.
It was Flutie as the quarterback for a while.
No. With Flutie was the very end of it. Brian
Sipe was the first quarterback.
I think Brian Sipe might have been the second quarterback. I have to check that out. But no, Brian Sipe at one time was the Jersey Generals quarterback.
Well, the reason why we're waxing nostalgic here is the USFL is not done. They still exist.
Really? I mean, do they exist in the same teams kind of thing, or are they just we have a football league, but we don't have any teams here?
The company is called NSFL, the National Spring Football League.
All right.
The NSFL owns the rights to the USFL.
Okay.
Which, in turn, all of this is owned by Fox.
All right.
So, as you can see, there is a corporate entity pushing this. This is not really an upstart league because it's spring football. This league's been around for a little while, but in many different ways, shapes, or forms. This is the first time it's organized as the USFL.
Okay.
And on October 25th, they announced their newest team, the Mobile Stallions.
Oh, okay. Wasn't there a Stallions? Oh, maybe it wasn't.
Well,
see, now I can't remember. I can't.
Here's the overall list of team names right now in the USFL: Mobile Stallions, which I just talked about; Memphis Showboats.
I remember them. Yeah, Reggie White.
Orlando Renegades.
Okay.
Jacksonville Bulls. That's a new one. That's a new one under this guy's.
I'm not sure. They might be old. I don't know.
Oakland Invaders.
I remember them.
Arizona Outlaws.
Yeah, I remember them.
Denver Gold.
Yep.
I don't remember the Denver Gold.
I remember the Denver Gold. They had just a big gold star.
Not a gold rock?
No, not a gold rock. I remember Denver Gold.
LA Express, which was Steve Young.
Steve Young, yeah.
Houston Gamblers.
Jim Kelly.
New Orleans Breakers, which used to be
Boston Breakers.
And also they went Boston the first year, New England the second year, then they moved over to New Orleans here.
Craig James, I think, actually was one of the running backs there.
Birmingham Stallions.
That's the Stallions. Okay.
There's two Alabama teams.
Okay.
So.
They're both named Stallions, or did
Mobile Stallions and
took
Birmingham
their place?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Tampa Bay Bandits,
which I think was partly owned by Burt Reynolds, wasn't it?
Yeah. That was his team. Michigan Panthers,
Anthony Carter,
and Bobby Aber, wasn't it?
Yeah, Bobby Aber.
Pittsburgh Maulers. I do remember the Maulers. I don't know who played for them.
Did Mike Rozier? Mike Rozier was on one of these teams.
And Philadelphia Stars.
Yeah, I think we talked about the Stars.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also the New Jersey Generals is there, too. So.
Okay.
But the reason I'm bringing this up, the Stallions, in addition to announcing the new team, they also filed trademarks for the team, like every pro sport team does.
I love when they file trademarks because it gives you an insight of what they have planned in the future. So what do they have planned in the future?
Well, it's a 2-class trademark. Class 25, which is clothing.
Okay.
For people out there are 41 classes of trademarks. 40 of them are for products. The 41st is a service mark. You know, if you're a program or a team, you're providing entertainment services. It's a service mark.
Okay.
So they have the Class 25 clothing, article, apparel, jerseys, all that stuff. And then you have Service Mark 41 here, Class 41. Same stuff you see for a normal team, professional football games, exhibition games, providing ongoing television and radio programs.
Okay.
Then you get to the two interesting entries into this. Betting services.
Oh, okay.
Gambling services. This was specifically in the Mobile Stallions trademark application. Now, you brought this to my attention because you came across this and you said, take a look at this.
Yeah, no, they're going for gambling services.
And it was a good catch because that seems to be part and parcel now of any sports team that is going to have some kind of betting component on their websites or on their apps or in their stadiums
or if they're
going
to make a deal or a partnership with a
you might even see
sports betting
branded sports betting site for them. A free-to-play game would fall under this. But I took a look at the rest of the league. All the trademarks have these two phrases in it.
Wow, okay.
Every single team of the new USFL have two entries for betting services and gambling services.
Well, you know
in
why?
all their trademarks.
If they're owned by Fox in some way, they have Fox Bet.
Exactly.
So,
and also, I think Fox has deals with other ones too. Okay. So, I think you're going to start seeing maybe. Remember what the what was it? Not the AAFL, but the other one. No, or was it the AAFL?
I gotta tell you,
was it awful? AFL.
At one point, there was a couple of spring football leagues, and some were really terrible.
Well, remember, one of them had the sports betting app.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Wait,
I think it was AAFL.
was it New York, New Jersey Guardians? I don't even know what that was, but that's the last those type of football leagues I remember.
Well, one of them had their own app that was going to be incorporating betting.
Oh, okay.
So I think you might see something like this with the new USFL. It bears watching. It's a little different situation than the normal.
Hey, spring football, something to bet on.
Exit 4.
And last but not least, we can't get out of here every week without talking about an NFT.
Everyone has an NFT. Non-fungible tokens.
Well, we're going to be talking about an NFT that is a real NFT, not a cyber NFT.
What does that mean, a real NFT?
Well, we are going to be talking about the NFT artist Beeple.
Beeple.
Like people, but with a B.
Beeple. All
Beeple.
right. Okay.
Real name Michael Winkelmann. I'd rather go by Beeple myself, too.
I'd stick with Beeple.
He has been one of the foremost NFT artists in the world. His first physical
I didn't
work,
even know there was a foremost NFT artist anywhere. Seriously, there's a foremost NFT artist, huh? Okay. All right, Beeple. And Beeple is it.
He was one of the guys who helped start the craze for NFTs.
Oh, okay.
He put together this thing called Every Days, the first 5,000 days, which was a collection of his NFT work. And it sold for $69.3 million.
Oh, my God.
That was way back in March.
Way back in March.
Yes.
Huh?
Well, it feels like forever, the way the NFTs are right now. I feel like they've been around all this time.
I'm not sure if I've ever seen an NFT. I'm gonna come clean here. I'm not sure when we talk about an NFT.
It's digital artwork with some underlying extra stuff to it. Let me put it that way.
All right.
I'll put it in layman's terms.
All right.
There's extra stuff to it.
Before next time we talk, I'm going to make an effort to find an NFT and look at an NFT.
Beeple has created the
Maybe I'll look at Beeples.
He's created the first physical NFT. He has created what is called a kinetic video sculpture. That's it's entitled Human One.
Wow, I got to really look at these
It's an actual, and I took a look at this. And
really, you can take a look at it somewhere on the online.
It's all over the place.
It's all over the place. Okay,
because it sold for $29 million at a Christie's auction just recently. $29 million.
So if you're seeing it all over the place, the new owner of this, whatever you're calling it,
this is
NFT,
a physical statue.
Can the owner of the NFT stop people from looking at it
online? Yes, because it's physical. It's going to be in his house.
It's going to be in his house.
Yes,
okay.
Or wherever he wants to put it.
Okay.
It's an actual video sculpture of an astronaut walking along a landscape.
All right.
And it comes with an accompanying digital NFT, the normal NFT, let me put it that way.
So, $29 million? Did you just say?
Yes, this is
going to go up in value, and this is probably going to go up in value.
And this is also what makes it unique. Beeple will be updating the NFT, the life-size one, the 3D living, the sculpture.
Okay.
Throughout his lifetime.
Now, how would he do that?
It's attached to blockchain, which is you just upload it onto a server, and the picture will change.
Okay. All right.
He will be changing the landscape. He'll be changing the direction, all this stuff. And it already does this to a certain extent, depending on how you have a position in the room. You have certain lights can change the direction the astronaut's walking in the statue.
Okay.
So it's
so where is this now? Does anyone know where this actual NFT is? It is in someone's home.
It's in someone's collection.
It's in someone's home or someone's building
or a vault
like
or wherever they place these
vault.
things. But this was the very first physical NFT ever.
Yeah,
basically, it's a moving statue.
So it's going to go up in value just for that fact.
It's going to go up in value because he's going to keep updating what's going on in the statue, too.
Great.
The landscape's going to change. The astronaut's clothing's going to change. He's going to be able to do so much different stuff to it. And all he has to do is do a couple changes to the coding, upload it, and it automatically changes in the sculpture wherever the guy is.
Wow.
It's incredible.
Okay.
I've never heard of something like this before.
Wow. And today's trip down the Turnpike was brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
And as always, you can get in touch with Turnpike Sports by calling or texting us at 609-512-5910. That's 609-512-5910. At Turnpike Sports is the show's handle on Facebook and Twitter. At Turnpike Sports Radio is our handle on Instagram. And as always, our email address is info@turnpikesportsradio.com. And don't forget, you can listen to the show via Spotify, Amazon Music, iTunes, radio.com mobile app, as well as Stitcher and YouTube. You can also watch us on your smart TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV. Head on over to turnpikesports.net. You'll be able to watch our video channel there.
Stick around because later on we're going to have a Beat in the House, and we're going to have our Week 11 NFL picks. I don't even want to know if I want to even do them, but I'm going to give it another shot this week. We're going to do a book report, but right after this, I'm talking with Brooks Pierce, President and COO of Inspired Entertainment. They put out some of the best virtual sports games in the world, I think. If you played virtual sports online, you probably played Inspired Entertainment games. So we're going to hear all about Inspired Entertainment from Brooks Pierce when we come back with more Turnpike Sports.
Is your bathroom looking old and worn out? Want to update it, but you don't know where to start? Then let BCI Bath and Shower show you how to turn that old bath into an aisle of beauty and functionality. Our residential bathroom solutions provide the best value on the market, and our customer service is second to none. Our cost-effective BCI Bath and Shower family of products has what you need.
Remodeling our bathroom was a big decision for us.
They didn't make a mess out of our house at all. And at the end of the day, we had a beautiful new bathroom. And it was a great experience the whole way through.
We have the best monthly payment programs in the industry, with payments as low as $68 per month or no interest, no payments for 18 months. For a limited time, be one of the first 100 callers who schedule a free in-home consultation and receive $500 off. Call 1-800-594-9530, 1-800-594-9530. Factory-trained and certified installers made in the USA, and discounts for seniors and military. BCI Bath and Shower, the leader in affordable bathroom products.
Psst. Yeah, you. Come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore. Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here. Use the offer code SPICE404. They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
Today's trip down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-297-9788. 800-297-9788.
Welcome back to Turnpike Sports. I am Dave Weischadle. I'm excited to talk to our next guest because I have been enjoying all of the games that his company has put out. The name of the company is Inspired Entertainment, and not only are they at the forefront of virtual sports, but they are doing amazing things in the online world. To tell us all about Inspired Entertainment and some of the great games that you can play and win some money on is Inspired Entertainment President and COO Brooks Pierce. Brooks, thanks for joining us.
Sure thing, Dave. My pleasure.
Yeah, I told you off air, I'm sitting in New Jersey, so I love everything that Inspired Entertainment is doing and all the games they're putting out. But for people who aren't familiar with Inspired Entertainment, can you describe the company and explain some of the great things you're doing in the gambling industry?
Sure. So Inspired is really kind of run in 4 different verticals or segments. So we have our gaming business, which is where we build slot machines, server-based gaming. Our virtual sports business, which I'm sure we'll talk about today, where we actually do graphic representations of games that people can play in very short snippets, so a 90-second or so event that people can bet on. We have our iGaming business, which you'd be familiar with in New Jersey, obviously a big market for us, where we build slot content for online players. And then the last segment of our business is very similar to gaming, but we call it our leisure segment, where we provide gaming machines and products for leisure places, primarily in the UK, and pubs and holiday parks, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a content creation-led business, growing fast on the digital side, on the online side, but with a ton of experience on retail gaming as well.
You know, we always get emails from young people interested in the gaming industry and how someone gets started in the gambling business. What led you to become part of Inspired Entertainment?
Well, I've been in the gaming business for 30 years, and I got into it, ironically. My father was the CEO of a company called Autotote that did technology for the horse racing business. So you probably heard the phrase the tote board. So sure. Autotote was a big player in that, and ultimately we took Autotote. My father unfortunately passed away, and that's how I came into the business. But myself and my partner Lauren Wheel and I built Autotote from a relatively small company, acquired a company called Scientific Games, and built it up to a very big company. Then we both kind of exited. I went to another company and ran that for a while, at least the Americas part of it, a company called Aristocrat that you probably have heard of.
Sure.
And in the interim, Lauren had gone through and had purchased Inspired through a SPAC before a SPAC was really anything anybody knew about. And about 3 or 4 years ago, he asked me to come run Inspired for him, and we're trying to kind of replicate the success that we've had in the past and taking a relatively small company and building it up through a lot of hard work and good luck to be a much bigger company. And we're well on the way to doing that.
You know, you use the term, I use the term, but the term virtual sports has really become more common in the gaming industry. I mean, I'm sitting here in New Jersey, like I told you, and people in the state have really become more aware of virtual sports over the past couple of years because of the online gaming aspect in our state. But for people around the country who may not be too familiar with virtual sports, what do you mean when you use the term virtual sports?
Sure. So basically, the easiest way I can think about it is, so think about whether it's a football game or a basketball game, or we just announced a big deal with the Major League Baseball Players Alumni Association to do a home run shootout game. So essentially what we do is, you probably have seen it, a lot of the way people look at it is it looks kind of like Madden or a 2K. So we basically get players, we put monitors on them, and then we motion capture all of their movements and then create a digital version of it. So it's a computer-generated game, but it looks amazingly realistic. In fact, some people can hardly tell the difference. We do that for sports like that. We also do horse racing. I mean, just to give you an example of the quality of the graphics and how realistic they are. When the pandemic was in kind of mid-form and the Kentucky Derby was canceled, Churchill came to us and asked us if we could do a computer-simulated version of the 13 Triple Crown winners racing against one another. Wow. So we put that together, and it was actually on NBC Sports in replacement of the Kentucky Derby. So we really pride ourselves on making the most realistic representation of any sporting event we do, but it's all computer generated, and the results are determined randomly. So it's not like you can really handicap these races or these events. It's a random number generated that determines the outcome, very similar to like a slot machine.
I'm online all the time, and like I told you, I've been having a blast playing your games on Borgata, BetMGM, and Party Casino in New Jersey. And I started with the virtual horse racing, which was absolutely amazing. Can you give an overview of what other games people can find on these sites when people log on?
Sure. So we have 14 sports that we do online. So if they go onto any of the BetMGM sites, and BetMGM has been a terrific partner of ours. They're a great company to work with. But they can do anything from football, soccer, cricket, darts, car racing, horse racing, dog racing, literally the whole spectrum, tennis, golf. There's any number of sporting events that you can go on and play as a virtual sporting event. So it's open kind of 24/7. So there's always content available, and you get to select the sport that you're most interested in. And, we see, it's amazing. We see some numbers where people are betting, big amounts on cricket, virtual cricket in New Jersey, which, totally surprised us. We thought that was kind of a sport that no one knew in the States. So, wide variety of sports. And obviously, I encourage any of your listeners to go on and take a look, because it really is amazing how realistic the product is.
What is the process like for creating a virtual sports game? I mean, do you take past statistics from a particular sport and create the game around that? Or what are the elements that you have to look at and take into consideration when creating a virtual game?
Well, we try and do it in terms of there's a lot of different ways to do it. So for the Kentucky Derby event or the Triple Crown event, we basically took all the data of all the Triple Crown winners, ran kind of algorithms, and then gave probabilities to each one of the horses. And then ultimately the outcome was determined by a random number generator. But Secretariat was the favorite because of all the past performance, and Secretariat did actually end up winning the race. But I think that probably fourth or fifth choice ran second. So it's a combination of algorithms, but it also is a random number generated to determine the outcome. But the thing, when I try and explain it to people on virtual sports, so it's kind of a funny thing, but we did our basketball game. Mm-hmm. So we were filming folks actually in Wales, and my running joke is, it's not easy to find 10 guys in Wales that can actually dunk. But we have a college coach that runs them through plays that we film. So it looks incredibly realistic. I mean, the dunks look realistic, the ball going down inside and then coming out to the 3-point line. So it plays and looks very much like a real game, because it's basically been done by professionals to simulate the most realistic view of a sport. So that's how we do it.
What has been your most popular virtual game to date, and does popularity depend on what market you're in? I mean, for example, is soccer more popular in Europe than in the United States?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, so on a worldwide basis, because this is a relatively new product in North America, but we've been doing this for, I think, 20 years or so around the rest of the world. It actually started with horse racing, because there was a disease, hoof and mouth disease in the UK, and racing had shut down, and they came to us and asked us if we could do a simulated horse racing event, and that's really how virtual started. So we really created the category. But yeah, it's an exciting thing, and certainly in North America, for people that haven't seen it before, I'd encourage them to go on and take a look and see how realistic the events are. And frankly, you can pick your sport, and you might like horse racing, you might like football, but you can try other stuff. And it's quick. These are 90 seconds is about the maximum amount of time that there's an outcome. So for people who are looking, when they're doing regular sports betting, they play virtual sports kind of in between. Really as kind of a filler.
One of the games I want to ask you about is the NFL football game. It's called vPlay NFL Legends Football, and it's a lot of fun. Can you tell us about that game?
Sure. So we made a deal with the NFL Alumni Association, in part because, we wanted to help support the cause of retired players and their healthcare issues. So there's certainly that aspect of it. So, but we went to them and said, look, our players probably identify more with retired players than they do with the current players. So when you see a game that's going on with the Philly team or the Pennsylvania team playing a New York team, we have the ability to be able to have, Reggie White sack Phil Simms in a virtual thing. I said that, of course, because I'm an Eagles fan, so I have to.
So am I.
Have to say it that way.
So am I. I love your reference. So.
So basically, we filmed, players to have this realistic outcome, but then using the brand, the license of the NFL alumni. We have former NFL players. So basically it's their, the helmets and the jersey numbers and the names. But for players that like the quick pace outcome, and it's really kind of like the red zone in that we show highlight clips, and as the score aggregates and people go through. So again, the outcome's determined pretty quickly in like 90 seconds, but people identify with their teams and with players that they used to love.
Now, you're doing something with the Major League Baseball Players Alumni Association called Home Run Shootout. Can you tell us something about that?
Yeah, we're super excited about that. With the success of the NFL game, we basically said, well, where's another game that we're thinking about doing? Because we'd always wanted to do a baseball game. And we thought probably the easiest way to do a baseball game would be a home run shootout, so similar to a home run derby. And we said, look, we've had so much success with the alumni from football. Let's go talk to the Major League Baseball folks about doing an alumni game. And they were really supportive of it. They didn't know much about virtual sports. We explained it to them. So we did a licensing deal with them that included, a number of players. And then now we've gone out and done some individual licenses with former players or their families, the legacy. So we just announced yesterday that we'd made a deal with the Babe Ruth folks. So we'll have, I think this is going to be fascinating to watch, a home run contest with, Babe Ruth and Reggie Jackson. I think players are going to love it. So we'll be announcing kind of more big names, hopefully shortly. But yeah, we think this is going to be something that will appeal to folks, because who wouldn't want to see, a home run hitting contest with, Babe Ruth or Mickey Mantle or Reggie Jackson or Mike Schmidt or whoever it may be.
How closely do you work with the Major League Baseball Players Alumni Association to create the game?
So we show them as we're creating it, and in fact, as we were doing the work for Babe Ruth, we showed them, a simulated version that we've done using CGI. And I'm telling you, the representation and the look of Babe Ruth is so spot on. It's scary. And so what we do is basically, as we're building the game, we'll show it to them, and very much like what you would see, in a movie thing where, you show early cuts and edits, and they'll give feedback to us. And then ultimately, when we go live with the game, hopefully in the first or second quarter of next year, it'll be one that Major League Baseball, the Players Alumni Association, has had a chance to look at and approve.
Now, what types of bets can people place on, like something like the home run shootout game?
So still in concept, and we have a lot of ideas, but, you would think you'd be able to pick, obviously, one versus the other. We'll do tournaments. You'll be able to pick, over, under on the total number of home runs, things like that. So very common bets that you would see in sports betting. So obviously in horse racing, it's win, place, or show, exactas, trifectas, superfectas, et cetera, et cetera. In football, it's total points, it's over unders, it's spreads. So anybody who's done sports betting would be able to do that, and certainly casino players in New Jersey would be very familiar with it. But we also have a deal with the Pennsylvania Lottery, where our virtual horse racing product is shown in 9,000 locations, only 1,000 of which have actual video. So many of the locations don't have video, but people basically pick numbers based on the odds. So they'll look at a 12-horse race, and the 1 horse is always the favorite, and the 12 is always the longest shot. But they find it exciting to pick numbers and see the outcome happen every 90 seconds, as opposed to picking 3 numbers and waiting for the nightly draw. So the product really appeals to a wide variety of players, people that are interested in sports betting and like handicapping, or people that just want to have fun and pick numbers.
Talking about appealing to a wide range of people who will really enjoy these games, I told my dad about the home run shootout that you're coming out with, and my dad just turned 80. Right. And he can't wait to try it out because he loves that idea and he loves the concept. Was that your intention when creating these games, appealing to a range of fans across the age spectrum?
Yeah, I think it is, and I think most of the players that would engage in our products are probably used to sports and have preferences to what they like. But, honestly, it can be done. There's, when I showed the Kentucky Derby product to, I have kids that are in their 20s and 30s, and they loved it. They was like, Dad, this is so cool. I think it appeals to really a wide audience. And I think what people really like about it is, number one, it happens fast. So you're getting the outcome very quickly. And if you want to really try and look at the odds and everything, try and figure something out, you can. But if you just like to pick random numbers, or to your dad, if he happens to, want to see Babe Ruth go head to head with Mickey Mantle in the home run shootout, I mean, that's fun. It's entertaining. And if you throw a few bucks on it, I mean, this is not it's not high stakes. People aren't betting, hundreds of dollars on a spend. The average bet size probably $4 or $5. So it's really appeals to, I think, to your question, it appeals to a very wide audience of players, and there's a lot of different, ways to enjoy our product.
Now, virtual sports isn't just growing in this country. It's really a global industry. I mean, recently you just signed a deal with an iGaming company called Mozart for Eastern Europe. What does that deal entail?
Yeah, I mean, it's much bigger. Frankly, it's really the reverse. It's brand new in North America, and it's just really starting to get its footing here. But it's been a fully developed product in the rest of the world. So our biggest markets are UK, Italy is a huge virtuals market, Greece. So there's a number of markets outside of North America that are big. And again, soccer is the predominant sport, or football, as everyone else around the world calls it, except us.
Yeah,
is by far the biggest sport, and we'll do everything from just games. We'll do World Cup simulations. We'll do penalties. We do a game called Match Day, where it's 8 games going on at once, so it's very much like a parlay bet. In Greece, we have games with the Greek soccer teams. We have it with international teams. It's look, we're trying to appeal to the broadest audience from both a geographic perspective and age perspective, and frankly, sports that people engage with and like. I may not be a guy that would be betting on darts, but if you go in the UK, there's tons of people that want to play virtual darts.
Yeah, I always say I don't get the whole table tennis craze that people bet on, but if you like betting on it and if you're good at it, hey, offer it, whatever. But
sure.
And speaking of deals, Inspired Entertainment made a big deal in Canada. Inspired is going to launch iLottery games through a partnership with Lotto Quebec. Can you tell us something about the iLottery games that you think you're planning on releasing?
Sure. So, since you're in New Jersey, and I'm sure a bunch of your listeners are in New Jersey, you would have seen our content on, most of the gaming suppliers in New Jersey, whether it's Caesars or whether it's BetMGM or DraftKings, et cetera. And so a number of us, myself and Lauren Wheel included, have a ton of experience in the lottery industry and know the industry well. And frankly, the difference now between slot content and iLottery content, so electronic scratch-off tickets, is really the lines have blurred. So it really came to us as a combination of Lotto Quebec was a big iGaming customer of ours, and we said, well, look, we're thinking about doing some iLottery games. Let us show you some concepts and see what you think. And we showed them to them, and they said, great, sign us up. We'll take them. So we see it as an opportunity to leverage the experience and skill set that we've developed in the iGaming side of the business, where we have 150 titles. So modify them for the iLottery application. And iLottery is, probably the fastest growing part of the lottery business, just like everything in the world is going online. So we see it as just a natural progression and great utilization of the talent, our game design talent that we have already. So a very natural extension for us.
Now, I know in the U.S., the iLottery has been really growing in states like, Virginia, Michigan, Pennsylvania. Does Inspired have plans for iLottery games in the U.S.?
Yeah, 100%. Lotto Quebec was just the first, but we're in discussions with a number of lotteries, and we obviously think the product will resonate equally well in the States as it does in Canada, and certainly I think the industry is crying out for some innovation and additional content. And we do think that the experience that we've had in iGaming, particularly as it comes to play styles and mechanics and some of the things that we've done from a revolutionary standpoint in the iGaming space, we can bring to the iLottery space as well. So, yeah, the industry's been very excited about us coming into the space.
Over the last year and a half, virtual sports, iLottery, and online gaming have really exploded due to the pandemic. How has the evolution of virtual sports and online gambling been affected by the pandemic? I mean, would we have seen the growth in these fields despite the pandemic, or has the pandemic really accelerated the growth of virtual sports?
Yeah, look, that's an interesting question. And I think the answer to it is yes, it has. There's no doubt it's accelerated the growth. I mean, we're seeing growth rates in our online businesses, that we've never seen before. But the really interesting thing about it is, the pandemic is, I don't think anybody will say it's over, but it's certainly, the world is coming back a little bit more to normal. And where at one point we had literally 100% of our retail operations closed down, and the only business we had was the online business. And fortunately for us, that was growing substantially and kept us going until the retail business came back. But now the retail business is back, and it's back really at 100% of pre-COVID levels. But we anticipated that, with retail coming back, online would start declining. And the reality is it actually hasn't. Not only has it not declined, it's still actually growing. So I think what our thesis is that people have gotten used to playing our games, whether it's virtual sports or iGaming or eventually iLottery. So they may go to their casino or betting shop, but they're going to play it when they're home and or on their mobile phone. Increasingly, probably 80 to 90% is probably done on the phone as opposed to a desktop. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we're super excited that the online business continues to grow even with retail coming back.
Right now, Inspired is working in something like 35 jurisdictions in the world. In terms of growth, what can we expect from virtual sports, and what can we look forward to from Inspired Entertainment in the coming year?
Well, yeah, we always are looking to expand in our geography. So Latin America is certainly an area that we believe our products will do very well. Certainly, seeing a Latin American baseball player in a home run derby contest, we think would have great appeal there. So expanding in geographies, yes. Canada has now opened up to some more stuff. Ontario looks like they're going to go full iGaming. So plenty of geographic expansion. And we're adding sports, baseball, as we've talked about a lot today, but probably the next sport for us after that would be hockey. And we think that would appeal not only to North American markets, but to Scandinavian markets and Eastern European markets. So we're constantly trying to find the opportunity to grow our business. And thankfully, we just actually reported our earnings yesterday, and our growth rates were substantial, and our company's at a 52-week high in terms of share price. So seem to be doing something right. But, as I said to my management team this morning, there's no place for complacency. We have tons of things to keep going and obviously continue growing.
Brooks, we're running out of time, but can you give out a website for Inspired Entertainment so people can check it out and follow what you're up to?
Sure. www.inseinc.com, where they can actually go on and literally demo play any of our slot content, any of our virtual sports content. That's the inseinc.com is the place to go to see anything to do with Inspired.
Brooks Pierce, President and COO of Inspired Entertainment, thank you so much for coming on and telling us about the incredible things Inspired is doing. I mean, you're at the forefront of virtual sports, and I hope you come back on and keep us up to date about the amazing things that Inspired has planned for the future.
No, happy to do that, and thank you very much for having me on, and you clearly did all your homework, so I appreciate that you asked a bunch of questions, that you've done your homework. So I hope your listeners enjoy it, and look forward to catching up to you again. That'd be fun.
Great. Stick around. More Turnpike Sports right after this. We'll get back to the show in a few moments, but I just wanted to take some time and tell everyone about Bean Genius, the smart specialty coffee subscription service. Bean Genius sells freshly roasted coffee from some of the best independent coffee roasters in the country. They feature over 2,000 specialty coffee blends, all at your fingertips at beangenius.com. Here's how it works. Head on over to beangenius.com and take their palate profiler test to find out what coffee best fits your taste. Then select from a variety of subscription plans. Every subscription comes with free shipping, and delivery can even be scheduled for once or twice each month. And based upon your review of each coffee blend you try, Bean Genius actually learns your individual taste preferences and then suggests future coffee blends for you. And now you can get 10% off your Bean Genius subscription when you use our promo code PIKE at checkout. Bean Genius offers a variety of subscription plans to suit any coffee lover's needs. Subscribe with Bean Genius today and start enjoying some of the best tasting coffee around. And save 10% off your coffee plan with promo code PIKE.
Attention seniors with Medicare. This is an important announcement. Did you know you may qualify for a monthly Social Security rebate? Did you know you may qualify for a $0 monthly premium? That's right. You may qualify to get $135 added back to your Social Security check each month. Just call the Medicare benefits line to get your options. It's a free call. You may also qualify for $0 premiums, dental coverage, vision coverage, hearing coverage, and prescription drug coverage. With this type of plan, you don't need Medicare supplement insurance. Call now because you deserve to get the most from your Medicare benefits, including a rebate to your Social Security check each month. Agents are standing by with free information regarding Medicare benefits. It's a free call with no obligation, but it could mean big savings for you. Call the Medicare benefits line now to see if you're eligible for a Social Security rebate.
Call 800-574-6770. 800-574-6770.
Psst. Yeah, you. Come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore. Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here. Use the offer code SPICE404. They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts.
It's a casino. People gotta win sometime.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a giant, colorful check to deposit.
Beat in the House is brought to you by BetMGM Casino. Play your favorite casino games at BetMGM Online Casino. Slots, table games, live dealer games, everything you love about Atlantic City and Vegas, all online at BetMGM. Don't wait. Join in the fun now. Go to BetMGM Casino, create an account using our promo code Turnpike, and become a verified player. New players get $25 free when signing up, plus a first deposit bonus up to $1,000. That's promo code Turnpike at BetMGM.com for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus $25 free. Grab a lion's share of the fun at BetMGM.com. Must be 21 years or older to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to this week's Beatin the House, where we're going to be talking about casino wins, slot wins, keno, bingo, lottery, sports betting, bad beats, whatever we have that
poker,
someone wins
I saw
out.
Poker, a big one in poker this week.
Yes, so
from Pennsylvania, right?
That wasn't a bad beat though, and we're going to be talking about it. We're going to be talking about it. So, but if it's a casino or a gambling win, we're going to talk about it. You can also send them into us if you have news releases, info@turnpikesportsradio.com, and we will talk about it on the air here. We're going to start off with the Delta Downs Racetrack Casino Hotel in Louisiana this week.
All right.
A Texan visiting Louisiana named Rachel turned her visit into a $664,000 payday after winning a Louisiana statewide progressive jackpot. And as always, Buffalo Grand is involved.
The Buffalo machine.
Can't get away from Buffaloes. Aristocrat Gaming's Buffalo Grand at almost midnight, 11:47 p.m. on a Friday, November 5th. She won the progressive jackpot of $664,525 on a $3.75 bet.
See, I love bets like that. That's one of those things. That's what makes it a great story. Just how little was bet and the return on it. I love stories like that.
Well, I had to take a look at Delta Downs, and Delta Downs is located in Vinton, Louisiana. It's a population of 3,200 people, and it's part of the Lake Charles area. So there's a whole bunch of different casinos in there. I'd never heard of Delta Downs. I had to take a look at it. It looks like a really nice little place.
Well, it sounds like it's kind of it's out in away from the big city kind of thing. What is that, population?
Well, Lake Charles
3,000?
has about 3 other casinos there.
Okay.
So Golden Nuggets in that area too.
Okay.
They have a 6-furlong oval track as well, horse track. Next one up, we have the Planet Hollywood in Las Vegas. We're going from Louisiana to Las Vegas.
Yeah, no, this is the poker one, right?
Yes.
I read about this, yeah.
According to the release from Caesars, the guest, identified as Scott Long from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, hit a mega progressive jackpot on Ultimate Texas Hold'em for $544,904. And this is at Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino. He was out there for a poker tournament, and he had been sitting at the table, and he decided to take a break, and he went and played Ultimate Texas Hold'em.
So he took a break from a poker tournament to
play,
go play Ultimate Texas Hold'em.
Which is a table game.
I know, but it's kind of you want to take a break from poker, you think you take a walk around the block. But no, he went to the Ultimate Texas Hold'em machine.
Well, he went and killed a little time and made a killing. $544,000. Wow. It was a progressive jackpot, the mega progressive jackpot, with a royal flush in diamonds at Ultimate Texas Hold'em. I don't think we've actually talked about Ultimate Texas Hold'em too much. I know we've talked bad beats and all that stuff, but video poker we've hit.
I read the story and I was trying to think, did I ever play Ultimate Texas Hold'em? I can't remember if I did or not. Obviously, I didn't win on it if I did play it because I would have remembered it. But
I think somebody would have remembered you.
Yeah, I know, but no, I'm not sure if I ever played it.
Well, congratulations to Scott traveling all the way from Harrisburg to Vegas to get a really nice chunk of change there.
Well, that's why you go to Vegas.
Staying in Vegas, we're going to Circa.
All right.
Now, have we done Circa before? I can't remember if we have or haven't. There have been so many different jackpots in Vegas.
Is this a sports betting kind of thing, or is this from the Circa Casino?
This is Circa Casino. This is a slot. The Circa Resort in downtown put this up on Twitter, too, that a lucky guest won $112,500 on the Lock-It Link slots.
I don't think I've ever heard of that one.
Well, the Lock-It Link slot machine, the minimum amount that you can put there on a spin is $150.
That's why I've never heard of it. I have never done a $150 spin on a slot machine.
Well, there are 15 versions of the Lock It Link slot machine.
Huh, okay. I guess this is in the high roller room kind of thing?
No, it's on the floor.
Really? Okay.
Because not all the versions do that kind of minimum bet.
Okay,
so.
all right.
But the Lock It Link feature, it's a free spins bonus where adjacent designated symbols on the reels will be linked together and locked in place until they all fill the screen. And that's when you win a bonus, a huge bonus.
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
Yes. So it's either you fill the screen up with the bonus symbols, which are all locked into place, or if you run out of free spins. So you got to have it all filled to win the ultimate bonus.
I wonder how many times you did a $150 spin of that.
I don't know, but I'd be very wary of doing 100, unless that's what you went there for. You know, your entire bankroll was, I'm going to go play Lock It Link, and here's all my money.
You know, I have a budget for this, and I'm going to try it, and it paid off. Good for them.
Well, we're going back across the country to New Jersey now.
All right.
It's an online casino, DraftKings. I don't think we've talked DraftKings online casino.
No,
before.
you know what? All the sports books now have, well, in New Jersey anyway, all the sports books have casino links to them. So, it's like one-stop shopping.
Well, over a 2-day period in October 27th and 28th, there were 4 $50,000 or more jackpots paid out on DraftKings casinos.
Wow.
$53,160 was paid out to a player who played the NetEnt Steam Tower. That's a game I hadn't heard of. I had to look that up as well.
Nope.
It's actually pretty cool. It's a steampunk-themed game where you have to get bonuses to climb up a steam tower to rescue a princess from an evil dragon.
Okay.
There's actually
the story attached to it.
Yeah, there's a plot.
I've seen a lot of NetEnt games on online casinos in New Jersey, so they're a big company.
Well, the next one, $51,700 playing Williams Interactive's Cheshire Cat, which obviously is Alice in Wonderland.
I guess so, yeah.
It's a 5-reel, 4-row, 40-pay line slot machine. They have a very colorful color scheme for the design of the game to match the Alice in Wonderland theme. The next one was $57,450 playing Evolution's DraftKings Speed Roulette.
Speed Roulette, huh?
Speed Roulette, according to Evolution, cuts the time between spins to just 25 seconds.
Wow, you got to get your chips on the board, huh?
That's why it's Speed Roulette.
Wow, okay.
According to Evolution, the game can do almost 150 spins per hour. 50 more than conventional blackjack.
Well, that's the whole thing about online games. That's what they say about online poker. You see more hands, and you can build a bankroll quicker on online because you just, it plays quicker.
Well, again, it's one of those things where I know a lot of the games try to have speed rounds. I know a lot of people tried to push speed poker for a while. And, some games it works for, some games it don't. I don't know. I haven't tried speed roulette. But, speed roulette. And then the last one was $60,300 playing Evolution's Blackjack 9, which is a side bet alternative with blackjack.
Oh, I got to check all these out.
Now we're going to head over to the lotteries. We got 2 little lottery stories to talk about. Lake Charles resident Terrell Joseph Sr. received a big treat on Halloween. He bought a Louisiana lottery ticket at a Lake Charles gas station and won $1.322 million.
Wow. I can't remember the last time I played a scratch-off game.
Well, it's one of those things where I always find it more interesting if it's the first time for a store to get a winner, which was what happened here. First time for the store. The store was called More for Less, and it's store number 15.
And the store gets a little chunk of that, right?
He received a 1% bonus.
Okay, 1%.
$13,000. That's not bad at all for a $1.322 million jackpot. And last but not least, we're going to go down south to the North Carolina Lottery. A man was leaving work when he scored a $50 lottery win, which, nothing.
Really. I'd be very happy with that.
So would I.
Very happy with that.
So he went to the store to claim his prize. And as he got his prize money, he decided to put another $20 from that prize money onto more scratchers.
Yeah, why not?
So he did. He got a $20 ticket for the Grand Money Scratch-Off game. That scratch-off revealed a prize of $100,000.
Wow, good for him.
So he was going in there to collect his money, his $50 win, and he won $100,000. Now,
He's playing with house money, so that was great.
That's unique enough for the North Carolina lottery. Not unique enough that didn't happen before with this state. Back in August, another North Carolina man was cashing in his $50 ticket, and he made his last-minute decision to buy another ticket with some of the winnings. The second lottery ticket hit the jackpot of $200,000.
Wow. So if you're in North Carolina and you get a $50 winner, spend a little money and it'll pay off for you.
It's a prelude to winning even more money.
It's house money, man. It's not your you win it, no skin off your nose, and put it back, reinvest it, as they say, and win big.
Well, that's it for this week's Beatin' the House segment. Keep the press releases coming in. Let us know exactly who's winning what at your casinos or online casinos or in your bingo parlors, whatever. info@turnpikesportsradio.com. Send them in. We'll keep doing this.
Our Week 11 NFL picks is next, so stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike.
Now that we're home more than ever, we need to feel safe. Call it a sign of the times or the world we now live in. What do you want to keep safe? The people in your life? What do you want to protect? Your possessions, the things that belong to you, the things that you've worked hard for. Wouldn't it be nice to have tested, trusted 24/7 protection? Peace of mind, real protection that's always there for you and your whole family? Well, now you can with one of our state-of-the-art home security systems. Everyone thinks their home is safe until the unexpected happens. Help protect your home and loved ones today with the affordable next generation in home security. To help keep your family and property safe, call 1-800-520-4068 now. Representatives are standing by to assist you. That's 1-800-250-4068. 1-800-520-4068.
This week's Turnpike Sports Pro Pick segment is brought to you by PointsBet Online Sportsbook. Take advantage of their no-juice NFL game lines every week of the NFL season. That's right, PointsBet is giving higher payouts and you get 100% of the profits. PointsBet also offers its customers live streaming and game tracker animations. Get in the game and place live bets even faster. Join PointsBet today and use promo code BET21 and receive 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. Again, that's 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000 when you sign up at PointsBet.com with our code BET21. Stream live, bet live, win fast with PointsBet. Must be at least 21 years or older to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. New customers only. Problem gambler, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to Week 11 of the NFL season, everybody. Boy, this season's going by really quick.
Yeah, and it's not my best picking season either, so I guess I'm going to have to hold my nose and just do 3 more games this week.
I have to admit, I don't like this week's games.
I kind of do. I'm taking a different kind of track from what I usually do, so we'll see how that goes. You got to shake things up if things aren't going your way, so I'm going to try it. My new method.
As you heard at the beginning of the segment, we're using this week PointsBet Sportsbook lines. They're the Tuesday lines. Again, these lines and odds will change by game time.
They will always change.
More often than not, they will change.
Yeah, so always check your odds before you make your picks.
But I will admit, there are some games bet now, some games bet later.
Yeah.
Just bide your time if you don't like what you're seeing right now.
Sure.
I mean, this is being released Thursday. We're using Tuesday lines. So by the time Sunday rolls around, or Thursday night rolls around even, I didn't pick a Thursday night game. But by the time Thursday night rolls around, a lot of these lines are going to change.
I got to tell you, COVID is throwing a wrench into a lot of better system because, sometimes, the COVID numbers aren't released until Friday. Who's playing because of COVID and who's not in the protocol. And, because I did not know. Now, I didn't have him last week, but I didn't know Ben Roethlisberger wasn't playing until very, very late in the week.
That was a late announcement.
Yeah.
That killed probably a lot of people's betting that week. So, but again, PointsBet sportsbook lines. We use we bet on 3 games each, point spreads and totals only. No money line bets for the segment here. Last week, you went 0-3.
Yep.
And I went 2-1. I'm having a decent season. Probably one of my better ones.
Yeah, you're having a great year.
Season to date, 17-12-1 for me. You are 12-15-3.
Okay.
Last year I had about 4 or 5 pushes. You're getting the pushes this year.
Yeah.
So let's get right into the picks. As I said, we're doing 3 games each. You went first last week. I'll start this week. My first game is the Cincinnati Bengals favored by 1 visiting the Las Vegas Raiders. I almost said Los Angeles there. Las Vegas Raiders, the over-under is 49 points. Bengals are coming into the game 1-2 against the spread in their last 3 games overall. They're 1-1 ATS in their last 2 road games. The Bengals lost 2 in a row, including that really bad game they had on Halloween against the Jets. And, I don't know if the Bengals have figured themselves out yet. They've been playing very inconsistent. The Raiders, on the other hand, they're playing their second straight at home. They got blown out by the Chiefs, 41-14 the previous week here. The Bengals are not Kansas City. They're not a high-powered offense. Their defense is suspect at times. And even though the Bengals have won 3 of the last 4 meetings between the two, and they're 4-0 against the spread in all 4 of those games, I'm still going with the Raiders. Raiders +1.
All right, my first game is the Indianapolis Colts versus the Buffalo Bills, who are favored by 7 with a total of 49 points. I mean, I expect to see a lot of scoring in this one, mainly from the Buffalo Bills. I mean, Carson Wentz has a tendency throughout the year to make some questionable throws in the wrong time of the game, and I think Buffalo can capitalize on those mistakes. By the way, give credit where credit is due. Wentz was pretty good last week. He completed 22 of 34 passes for 180 yards, no turnovers, but no touchdowns. But he's going up against a defense that forced 5 turnovers last week. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game, which will go over the total the sportsbooks put on the game. So I'm taking the over 49 in this game.
My next game, the Dallas Cowboys visiting the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, I took this game too.
Chiefs are favored by 2.5. There's an over-under of 56. Cowboys are 4-0 against the spread in their last 4 road games, 8-1 ATS overall. If it wasn't for that game against the Broncos, which I don't even know what happened to the Cowboys that game.
That was weird.
I don't think the Chiefs would be favored in this game at all, home or away, for Kansas City. I think the Chiefs have been inconsistent this year. They do have the ability to put up a lot of points. Dallas hung 43 on the Falcons last week, and the Chiefs put up 41 against the Raiders, like I just mentioned. I don't think the Chiefs have their defense figured out, and I really think Dallas's offense is going to take advantage of that, but I think both teams are going to score a lot. I'm going over 56.
Wow, over 56. I mean, that's a big number. And I took this game too, but I took the underdog Dallas. I mean, all those things against the spread you were talking about as Dallas is true, but one thing they did against Atlanta is the defense forced 3 turnovers. And, Kansas City has turned the ball over more times than they have in the past couple of years. And you want to do an against the spread thing. Kansas City is 5-16 against the spread in their last 21 games. So that's the theme of the year. The Kansas City Chiefs usually have trouble covering the point spread. So I'm going to go with the underdog at Dallas Cowboys.
Okay, my last game of the week, the New Orleans Saints visiting the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are favored by 1.5.
Uh-oh, I took this game too.
The over-under is 44.
I took this game too.
I have to admit, I really like the way the Eagles have been playing lately. Their quarterback, Jalen Hurts, he's completing passes he shouldn't be able to complete. I mean, I remember watching one of the touchdown passes was reviewed on one of the sports networks, and they said that completion at a 19% rate of completion.
Yeah, let me tell you something. He's clicking with Devontae Smith, so it's fun to watch.
Well, I don't like the Saints this year at all. Even with Jameis Winston on their center, they weren't playing consistent. Now that he's gone, they're playing even more inconsistent on offense. I just don't know what you expect from the Saints each and every week. It's just one of those things here. Like I said, I like the way the Eagles' offense is clicking. If they stay with the run game to set up that downfield passing, I think they're going to control this game. I'm going with the Eagles. Eagles laying the 1.5.
You know, I like your analysis, but I went with the total this one. I think it's going to go over the 44 points. Look, the Eagles scored 20 points in the first half against the Broncos, and the Saints actually outgained the Tennessee Titans in their loss. So I think this has a potential to be a high-scoring game, and I think the 44 that the sportsbooks hung on this game is a little light. So I'm taking the over in this one.
Well, the total may go up by the time game. If you see this total, I would do the betting now.
44. I'm throwing the money on right now, which is a Tuesday morning. I'm throwing the over 44 in the Saints-Eagles game.
Well, let's recap. I went with the Raiders +1. I went with the over 56 in the Cowboys-Chiefs game, and I went with the Eagles laying the 1.5 against the Saints.
I went with the over in the Colts-Bills game, the over 49 in that game. I went with the over 44 in the Saints-Eagles game, and I went with the underdog Dallas Cowboys getting 2.5 points against the Kansas City Chiefs.
And these picks will be put up on the Turnpike blog. Just head on over to turnpikesportsradio.com, click on the blog button, and after this week's show publishes Thursday morning, you'll see our picks in print on the blog about maybe an hour or so after the show is released.
The book report is next, so stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
Turnpike Sports Book Report.
The Turnpike Sports Book Report is brought to you by BorgataSports.com. Your favorite casinos now, your favorite sports book available anywhere in New Jersey, BorgataSports.com. Sign up at BorgataSports.com using our promo code PIKE, that's P-I-K-E, and you get a risk-free bet up to $300 and 20 bonus dollars at BorgataCasino.com. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to the weekly Turnpike Sports Book Report, where we discuss the state and national reports on the sports betting industry, the launches that occur across the country as well as in Canada. We also discuss the latest updates in the legislative area, and also we discuss the multiple deals that always occur in the sports betting industry in this country, in this continent, as well as overseas. Well, this week we're going to start off by talking about some little commercial gaming sector overall, not just sports betting, but also iGaming, the casinos, the commercial casinos, as well as the sports betting numbers. But according to the
gambling is having an amazing year right now in terms of revenue and in terms of handle when you're talking about sports betting, but just across the board, casinos, sports betting, it's been a great year.
Well, the one thing I noticed, and everyone is talking about a recovery, but it's even more than that, because everything you compare, not just last year's numbers to last year's numbers, but if you go back to 2019, you're approaching bettering those numbers as well. So I don't know if it's a resurgence or it's just, I think maybe
everyone's all pent up.
I just think there's maybe some changing attitudes toward gambling too. I mean, everyone's getting used to it. It's become part and parcel. there, a lot of people more accepting of gambling too, I think.
Sure. I mean, look, everyone's getting out of the house. Everyone's seeing gambling on TV. It's being incorporated into sporting events. I mean, everyone's talking about it. Here in the Northeast, we have a ton of television shows about gambling. So,
and we're going to have more
probably more. And it's been great.
Well, according to the American Gaming Association, commercial gaming revenue hit an all-time quarterly high this past third quarter in 2021, $13.89 billion. That's 2 quarters in a row of record commercial gaming revenue. That's an incredible
Absolutely.
feat.
It's great.
And I wouldn't be surprised if this fourth quarter in 2021 has a record as well. The way everything's moving along, more states are launching sports betting. More states, I actually noticed, are launching iGaming.
Yeah, which is great.
Which is it's actually becoming a really perfect storm as well, because a lot of states do not have iGaming.
Sure.
And as a matter of fact, with sports betting, some of them are even talking about expanding to mobile betting, which, a couple states in the South that we can talk about too later on. But you're starting to see an expansion of gaming within states that already have gaming.
That you mentioned iGaming. The one great thing about iGaming is not a lot of people realize is that these iGaming platforms are licensed through the casinos, which means, hey, you know what? Player points are involved. You know what? You get comped for playing online. Your comp points rise when you go to the casino. So actually, iGaming actually makes your live experience at a casino cheaper. Well, because you have comp points to spend.
I think you just hit on something that affects the sports betting markets too, because a lot of the sports books are now incorporating the casino loyalty cards, the rewards program.
Yeah,
Caesars just started doing it into their sports book.
Sure.
MGM now has that as well. And it's one of those things. They had them in the casinos, but they did not have them in the sports books until just recently.
One place in Atlantic City, it changed hands by now, so I don't want to say what name it is. But I did my Players Club when I placed my bet at the window at the sports book. So that was great.
Yep. Now you don't have to do that. You can just do it on their app.
Yeah.
Sports betting revenue, according to the American Gaming Association, hit $886.5 million in the third quarter. Sports revenue over the first 9 months posted a $2.74 billion mark. That's over 300% more than what at this point last year.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, you're comparing pandemic year to this year. Maybe that number's a little inflated. I think really you got to compare it to 2019 to get a better feel for it. But I think there's also a psychological factor here, too, when you report these numbers and you compare it to the down year.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good thing. Before we get into some of the state numbers here in terms of post-PASPA numbers, benchmarks that were hit, I wanted to hit on Oregon. We talked about Oregon last week.
Yeah.
And have some additional numbers here. It's kind of interesting to see what happened in Oregon. They had a decrease in registrations month to month these last 2 months from September to October, but the number of bets increased 47%. Less people, more betting.
Wait.
Or maybe it's customer retention.
Well, that's what I'm thinking about. So many people signed up early on that you're going to see less people signing up because most people who signed up early on. So I'm putting a positive spin on that, by the way.
Well, I think what we both
I'm
just
being a
said,
marketing guy for them, yeah.
What we both just said is reflected in this number. The number of active players, these are not the registered players, but the active players, increased month on month and year on year.
Okay.
They have 27,781 active players in October. So the active players have increased, even though the new registrations have slowed down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's going to change, too, once DraftKings comes in, because they're going to be taking over from Intralot at some point.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens there. And, of course, I have to hit your favorite sport, table tennis.
Yeah, table tennis.
Did not make the top 6 this past month.
Yeah, it was holding steady at number 6th most sport bet.
In terms of handle.
In terms of handle. So
well,
Oregon and Colorado are big on table tennis for God knows what
It dropped
reason.
down a little bit.
Okay.
It went to 7th. 18,854 bets, a handle of $1.342 million. And Here you go. 777 players bet on table tennis in the month of October. The average bet went up $71 on table tennis. I don't understand the sport enough to do a $70 bet on a table tennis
Look,
match.
Obviously people like it, number one. Number two, they're making money off it because they understand the sport. They do their research, they do their analysis, and you know what? They do well in table tennis, so it's bet. So good for them. I don't understand table tennis. I don't know the players. I don't know the teams. If there are teams, I don't know. But no, good for them. If they want to bet table tennis and they make some money, good.
Well, we're moving on to a national side of things here. Right now, we have some of the sports books reporting their October numbers. Illinois reported their September numbers just very recently. We talked about that as well. The all-time national post-PASPA handle currently, and this is going to change by the time this airs because there's going to be more states reporting too as well. We still have Arizona we're waiting on too. Mm-hmm. The post-PASPA handle all-time is now over $75 billion.
This is from, what was it, May of
2018.
Yeah, okay. So it's $75 billion.
Yes,
wow.
Yes.
Okay.
With their October sports betting report, Indiana is now the 5th state in the country to clear $5 billion in post-PASPA handle.
Wow, Indiana, huh?
They joined Nevada, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Illinois. They're the only 5 states in the country to clear $5 billion in handle since PASPA was repealed. Illinois is now the 4th state to clear $6 billion in total handle since their market launch.
Okay.
Only 3 other states, since they're 4th, New Jersey, Nevada, Pennsylvania. All 4 of those states are the only ones in the country to clear $6 billion in total handle.
Okay.
So we have a $5 billion mark. We have a $6 billion mark just recently set, which is another indication of a growing industry here.
Absolutely.
But again, as a lot of people will point out, the handle is a great number to report on. It's a great number to discuss. You got to look at the revenue figures for each state, and we'll do that at some other point. They're also listed on the print version of the book report on our blog, too, as well.
Okay.
We had New York, finally.
Yay, New York, huh?
Giving out some permissions to, or licenses to sports betting operators. Again, one was actually both were super bids. The 2 super bids got them. One group was DraftKings, BetMGM, Bally's, Ballybet, really, and FanDuel. The other group was Caesars, Wynn, PointsBet, Rush Street, and Genting. I said it right this time.
Yep.
And that was headed by Canby, and that was the group that also has the deals with the sports teams as well, and also the Yes Network, which is going to be actually kind of fun to. I can't wait to see what the Yes Network. I have to admit, I love Yes Network's programming.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's interesting with the Yes Network. I can't wait to see how they do it. But another New York local sports station is really doing up the betting program. MSG is really they have a ton of betting shows all of a sudden. Every night there's a betting show.
Well, since you just mentioned MSG, they are in the news in terms of a deal, so I'll just skip ahead a little bit.
Yeah, BetMGM,
we'll go back
right?
to a couple other things. But after the New York operators were announced, 9 of them, BetMGM and MSG entered into a partnership, a marketing partnership. Not just MSG as in the physical arena, but the MSG company, which not only does the arena, they do the Rangers, the Knicks, they do the MSG network.
Yes.
So
I enjoy the MSG network. I like it.
I like it.
I watch it every night because, like I said, they always have betting shows on, and there seems to be a new one every week. So I'm trying to think of
some are questionable.
Yeah, some are, but it's interesting. Let me tell you, information is king when it comes to betting, and if I get information from all different sources, that's a good thing.
Well, as I said in the rundown of the Turnpike Sports episode coming up this week, and people will hear that, the BetMGM MSG deal has for me, I don't know. If I'm wrong, please tell me. The first Zamboni deal, which is actually pretty cool.
I see a lot of sports betting advertisements on hockey and basketball games and baseball games. You see it on the walls and things like that. And certainly you see it around the stadiums and football games. So I'm trying to think if I've ever seen a Zamboni with a gambling emblem on it. But I'll rack my brain and try and think of one.
Well, for Rangers games, you're going to see it on the Zamboni as well as on the boards and the ice and all that stuff, and also on the broadcast itself. For Knicks games, you're going to see it on the floor, the thing in front of the sideline clocks and all that stuff, and also now on what they call the basket stanchion.
Okay.
The stand that holds the basket.
Now, will it be on the actual stand that you see? Because I've seen these overhead shots looking down on the basket, and they have either a website on the top of the basket or the backboard, or they have like an advertisement. Is it going to be there, or is it actually going to be on the bottom portion of the
No
net?
word on where it's going to be
Okay.
yet. Also, there's possibility of having some digital stuff.
On the digital stuff is
stanchions, on the
hockey.
stanchions.
My God, digital things are everywhere.
Well, that's with the broadcast crews.
Yeah.
That's where you see the things on the ice. There's nothing really on the ice except a logo here and there at center ice and maybe one or two others, but most of that stuff's digital. A lot of people don't even realize
a lot of the digital
that's
ones are behind the nets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of like what they do in baseball, behind the batters or green
yeah,
screens.
yeah.
So that's all digital stuff there, too. Staying with a couple of the deals here, Betway, which has been making deals everywhere. Betway announced a deal with the NHL's Philadelphia Flyers, since we're talking hockey anyway. We just talked
Great.
Ranger stuff there. Betway is now the sports betting operator and official partner of the franchise.
Wow.
You're also going to see Betway's branding on the ice, on the boards, as well as Flyers' social media. And it's kind of interesting because the Flyers, I took a look at their social media standings and everything. Mm-hmm. The Flyers are the first in the league in Twitter engagements.
Oh, okay.
And first in Twitter social value.
Okay.
So that's kind of a unique.
I follow the Flyers, and they got Gritty all over it. The mascot. So maybe Gritty had something to do with it.
Maybe
He's
maybe
very,
not.
very
I don't
popular
know.
here in the Northeast.
One big deal to talk about. Well, I can't say big, unique deal. Let me put it that way. Caesar Sports has done a deal with the Mannings.
Well, that's a big deal. I mean, I don't
want to say. I meant unique.
Oh, unique.
Yes.
Okay.
Because there's never been a family that's done a sports betting deal.
Yeah, apparently it's just not Peyton and Eli. It includes
It's Peyton, Eli, Archie, Cooper.
Yep.
But
Cooper had his own show or a segment on the show or something like that. I forgot what he did. It was he's very good, by the way. I think Cooper's one of the best, better than Peyton and Eli, by the way.
Well, I've seen the Manning cast for Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's a different way
I'm
of doing it.
hearing there's some kind of curse attached to it.
Yeah,
because,
I saw that.
Josh Allen appeared on it, and apparently, I guess quarterbacks who appear on it, I could be wrong, I got to check it out, but quarterbacks who appear on it are 0-6 the next week.
It's almost like that Madden cover curse, where the next season that person on the cover gets injured.
Sports love curses, don't they?
The
Curse of the
superstitions,
Bambino and superstitions, and this is ridiculous, man.
But
but it does explain the Bills losing to Jacksonville. So it's a convenient excuse.
Well, it's fun to actually have that hanging over your head when you're you're placing a bet on the team the next week. So it's something to keep in the back of your head when you're betting. I don't know if it actually holds water anymore, but we'll see what happens. I don't know who's up next though. So for Monday night, but Caesar, I did not know when I read some of the articles about this that the Mannings had a sports bar in the Caesars property in New Orleans.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, no, I didn't know they had one either.
I never knew they were involved in the bar side of everything either, but that makes perfect sense. They already are in there.
I mean, they already have a relationship with Caesars, so, it makes sense for Caesars to jump on board.
And I would assume, considering Archie Manning and the Mannings were such a big component in Louisiana. I think the only person just as big as them in that state is Drew Brees.
Yeah. I used to love watching Archie Manning play in the Saints. He was really, boy, he was. I wouldn't call him a mobile quarterback, but it was so much fun when he got into trouble when he started running around. I mean, they have one of the amazing. Go to the old NFL films. He was fun to watch.
Well, him and Fran Tarkenton were always fun to watch back there. So, but I wonder if they're going to do one in Indiana too, because there's a Caesars property there. There's a Caesars Sportsbook there.
Yeah. Peyton, played with the Colts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so, Baltimore should be a good place too. But I don't think was he there when they were Baltimore Colts.
No.
Colts. Speaking of Louisiana, let's stay there. I was so dead wrong about this state because I kept hearing November 1st launch for the industry. And all the articles I've been reading, all the reports from the Division of Gaming down there in Louisiana said, read to me like they weren't going to make that November 1st deadline that they set for themselves for launch. And here we are. There's 8 sports books, retail sports books that have launched in the state already.
Yeah, no, they opened up.
What are we, halfway through November?
They opened up in a big way. I mean, a lot of these places, the properties are ready to go with sports betting. One thing I was struck by when visiting the Everett Casino in Massachusetts.
Encore Boston
Harbor. Yeah, they had the windows ready.
Yeah.
All the state legislator had to do was pass it, and they'd have people taking bets on property relatively quickly because they're all there. It's all set up for it. So I'm assuming Louisiana was like that too. I mean, all they had to do was get the okay from the state government, and they jumped on it, and good for them.
Well, they actually have a couple of the retail books as temporary books, and they're building the permanent ones.
But the point is, they were ready.
They were ready.
They were all ready and set, and all they had to do is get the okay, and they started taking bets. Good for them.
The one thing I have noticed in the U.S. industry, as more and more states come online, the launch times needed are becoming shorter and shorter and shorter.
Well, yeah, I mean, sportsbook operators know what they're doing because they've been doing it for years in other states. So, they have the model, they have the business plan, they have the technology ready. So all they have to do is get the okay from the state, and they're all ready.
Well, we're going to stay in the South. We're going to go to Mississippi for some legislation before we go on to a couple other deals. Mississippi is now looking at introducing a mobile sports betting bill.
Good.
It's kind of funny to see this because it's the one state that has held out so long since the launch of their industry to do mobile betting.
Well, look, they can look at the numbers in other states of what mobile is doing, and, certainly, I mean, they'll make out really well because every state makes out really well in mobile sports betting.
Well, what's actually fun to watch here in Mississippi is BetMGM already has a foothold for mobile betting.
Right. Yeah.
They launched their app inside the Beau Rivage Casino in Mississippi. You have to be inside Beau Rivage property. I don't know how far that extends. I mean, parking lot.
I have no idea.
I have to see the geofencing for that.
Yeah.
But,
boy, that's an interesting thing. Can you walk outside the property? Well, can you walk outside the building and do something on the? If you're doing something like that, I guess you'd want people walking in your doors to place the bet. So, but I'm not. That's an interesting question. Can you walk outside in the parking lot and place a bet?
Because I remember during the pandemic in Vegas, when the casinos were shut down, people were in the parking lots signing up for online sports books there.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if the geofencing extends to the outside of the property a little bit. But again, maybe by January 1st, the bill will be introduced, and we'll see exactly how long it takes for them to launch their mobile betting industry. I think that would be kind of an interesting state to watch. I don't know if it's going to be as fun to watch as Louisiana has been, but it'll be kind of interesting to see exactly where that goes. I actually came across, before we started taping this morning, a story about Massachusetts now.
What's going on with Massachusetts?
According to Senator Lesser, who is one of the proponents of sports betting, he's got one of the bills. They are close to passing.
Well,
I mean, that's his opinion.
Okay, well, we'll see.
The state's legislative year ends November 26th, and according to Lesser and a few other of the members of the legislature, there's only one issue separating everybody, and it's college sports. Lesser's bill prohibits any betting on college sports.
Any college sports.
Any college sports.
Okay. Wow.
And the other bill allows betting on college sports and college athletics, but no player parlays. Nothing on the player itself.
Okay.
You can bet on the teams.
A lot of states have that.
Which is actually a good compromise.
Yeah. I wish New Jersey had that. That'd be great.
I just thought that was the best way to approach college sports, but I guess they don't want to do that. But we'll see. Also, we have Pennsylvania, and we'll probably end on this story here because we have run out of time for this week. Just a heads up. Pennsylvania Gaming Control Board has approved a plan by Greenwood Gaming, Parks.
Sure.
To open a betting operation in the new Chickies and Pete's restaurant in East Whiteland Township.
Wow, great. I have no idea where that is in Pennsylvania, but that's great.
Malvern. It's a western area, where the mini casino is they're building.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to have a sports book and an OTB.
See, that'd be great. I love Chickies and Pete's because they're like a local chain here in New Jersey and Pennsylvania.
Well, this is in Chester County.
Okay.
So Harris, Philly.
Great.
Which is in Chester County as well.
Go get some crab fries and place some bets.
And that's it for this week's book report. As always, you'll see a print version of the book report on our blogs, turnpikesportsradio.com. Click on the blog. Any news and business updates regarding the sports betting industry, send them over to info@turnpikesportsradio.com.
That'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.